The Home Defense Loadout Kit by The Art of Prepping. In the modern day, there are people who wish to do us harm. Some people want to steal things from us. Some people want to cause us suffering. And then there's even those who want to cause us death. It is our responsibility to mitigate these threats by doing things now to prepare for the possible. First thing you can do is to have a reliable means of communication with the outside world. It could be your neighbors, it could be the 911 dispatch or whatever your emergency number is. It could be the neighborhood watch person. But having a cell phone is probably one of the best ways, because a landline could be compromised. An intruder could cut the phone line on the outside and make it useless. So having a cell phone is probably the best way to go. In terms of having the means to identify threats, flashlight's probably going to be one of the best ways. I think this kind of tactical flashlight, this is a cigar style with a cannulated bezel with a strobe mode, gives you a lot of different capabilities, both physically and passively. So you definitely want options, and having a light to identify your threats is key. And talking about keys, we have the key ring, which most of the time is just left next to the back door. And we need to bring those with us right next to our bedside, especially if we have deadbolts that are double cylinder. And so if we're locked in our home, we want to be able to unlock the door and get out, and if possible, lock the criminal in the home so the police can arrive and arrest them. It's also good to have a means of non-lethal force instead of going right to lethal force. In the court of law, it looks very good that you used the continuum of force and didn't go just directly to a lethal means. Talking about lethal means, let's start with the pistol. The pistol is going to be one option. It's not the what I would consider the greatest option, but it's a starter. And I would go with the full-size handgun, or whatever the largest size format that can fit your hands, and the most rounds possible with the largest caliber that you can shoot accurately. And so with this weapon system, you'd also want a light. Definitely have a light on the weapon system, on all weapon systems, in fact, to allow yourself the opportunity to identify the threat before you. Now, this is what I would consider the more optimum choice, is going to be a long arm. In this particular situation, we have an AR-15. It could be an AK-47, AK-74, SKS, a Mini-14, whatever your preference. But to have a decent size capability of rounds, a light on your weapon, and of course, I would say a sling on your weapon. Some people like the shotgun, and that's definitely going to be a great option, especially if it's only going to be a few people that are, invading the home. But a long arm just varies, of course, on preference for the most part. But I picked the rifle just because it has, in my opinion, a little more capability. And when we talk about using firearms, you could be in a situation that you yourself could be shot, because if you're shooting at someone, they might be shooting at you, or the person that you shot could be at risk of his life or her life. And so you may need to have a trauma kit to help patch wounds for yourself or for them. And so having a real trauma kit, maybe even several of them, scattered about your home strategically could be a good idea. And that includes a tourniquet, blood stoppers, emergency trauma bandages, and so forth. Now, in terms of the way you would carry all this gear, it just depends on how much stuff you actually end up getting and, the format and size and bulk of it. You could go with an oversized waist pack like this, and have like different organizers and pouch on it. That could be a way to go. Some of them have enough room that you could put a holster on the side for a pistol if you wanted to, or to conceal them inside the pouch. They also have sling-style bags like this that have a little more room and that are better organized. This could also be a pretty decent way to carry gear in the middle of the night. You have to pick a system, though, that is going to lend toward being deployed easily, because you're going to possibly be in the middle of a dead sleep and you want something simple to put on. So if it's just a strap or two to be thrown on your body, or snap something around your waist, It's going to be a lot more realistic than to have a full-on plate carrier system or some type of armored system. This is kind of what I typically go for a home defense system. It's slightly more complicated, but not really. All you got to do is just put it above your head and slide it down. Put your arms through the straps. Usually on the back there's a buckle, and you're done. It can take just a matter of seconds if you train, and you can have extra magazines, your light, a non-lethal weapon, sidearm, first aid and trauma kit, keys, and a phone, all right there on your chest. So a chest rig is definitely an option. Thanks for watching.